Oh, Foxy, it's your birthday. Not for real, real. Just play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Hui, aloha mai kako, everyone. Welcome to the Moana Nui podcast and our Mana Bomb segment. My name is Moana, and I'm tuning in from the East Coast.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Kanoilani Davis. Mana Bombs powered by Pomahina Designs. Tuning in from Molokai Nui Hina. Aloha.
Awesome. Well, guys, welcome back. Today, we want to talk about negative emotional states and the reason why is because it's so easy to get into those states. And for me, I wanted to bring this up because both Kanoilani and I are the types of people who have lots of kuleana, lots of responsibility, lots of things that we carry on our shoulders. But for people like us and others who are kind of dealing with these kinds of things, when you give and invest so much of yourself, you can be left with burnout and a lot of things that you really don't come up for you until later. And you're like, oh, what the heck happened? And it can put you into negative emotional states and feeling junk, feeling any kind, feeling like you're not bringing your best self to the table. So our mana bomb for today is napping, getting sunlight and cuddling with someone you love can improve almost. And I think I'll start just for me, and I don't mean this to be equating this to anything, but for those who are keeping up with stuff, I've been watching the news of the California fires, and it's definitely very sad to see the level of devastation that's going on right now. And I think for myself and Kanoilani, and it kind of brought up our work that we were doing to help with the Maui communities and just all of the kaumaha, the heavy stuff that comes with that. And so please don't think that what we're saying today is that we're this is just something that you can go nap and it's going to be okay. That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is that when you're recovering from something that was heavy for you, something that you got through a difficult phase of your life, there are very little small things that you can do. And it's the stuff that we maybe take for granted sometimes that can really help us get through whatever might be hitting us for that day. So sis, tell us what your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you had shared. And like you said, there's a lot of devastation happening right now, both worldly and internally in our own families and as individuals. And so navigating through all those tough times can be very difficult. And I hope this one brings a little bit more light into people's worlds and also allowing yourself that permission, right? To do something. So I want to share a quote that was shared with me that's on that's on Pomahina Designs right now. We've been conditioned to believe negative emotions mean something is wrong with us. But anger, sadness, and every other negative emotion is just a part of life. The remedy isn't to repress emotions or deny they exist, it's to allow them. To find simple ways to raise our emotional energy. Sometimes it's through sitting in the sun, hearing the birds. Sometimes we just need a nap. Other times we need time in silent or a good cuddle. Emotions come and go, and we have the power to make choices that allow these emotions to process and fade. One of the biggest things I always say, and this is one thing that I was taught, is that emotions are mainly gauges. They're gauges to let us know exactly and truthfully what we're feeling. If we're feeling that anger and resentment as we're having a conversation with somebody that probably doesn't require or doesn't equate to that, a lot of the times it's an indicator that there's something there that we're having to deal with. I think the hardest part is acknowledging that resentment, that anger, that feeling that's coming up for us is something I have to work on. And I think the second that we understand that's something we have to work on, that's our own, I hate to use the word trigger, but it's our own indicator. It's our own gauge. Then we can be kind of more proactive, or we could even address it as soon as it happens. I think as soon as we start to blame the situation or others for the way we feel, that prolongs and also expands whatever we're feeling. And if we don't go through it, we just kind of prolong it. Mm-hmm. And a good example is, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie, where it's a wonderful movie and then they die, like somebody dies. Or maybe a child finally shares where they're at to a parent and they just needed to be heard. Inside of you, like you're sitting there watching the movie and that balled up thing in your throat, and then you just feel your eyes getting watery. It's because you almost empathize with the person that's on the screen. It's because that's a part of you that hasn't been addressed. Or not even that. It could have been addressed.
Mm-hmm.
But you empathize, you relate to that situation because you probably were that person at one time. And that's a gauge. That was a significant part that took place in your life. And it's good. It's a good thing. Some of us want to amplify it by repeating it again, or some of us are like, I don't want to deal with that again. Now I know what it is. Let's not go there again. But the idea is getting ahead of it. And then once we can, and we understand that emotional state engaged within us, it's these napping. I was sharing with Moana earlier, this week I've been fatiguing a lot and I'm going through a lot. So I've purposely, almost not purposely as in intentionally, but purposefully, because I really had no choice. My body was shutting down, taking naps, and it's helped. Yeah, going outside. As soon as I'm done with my nap, I make sure I go outside, do what I'm supposed to do. So I get my sunlight. Cuddling is an interesting one because I'm a single person. So like you would think I don't get to cuddle with a partner. And it's good to cuddle with a loved one. But I have my pups and he gets big hugs and I always give him a big hug. He don't like it, but I'm like, I love you. And pets can be a big part of our emotional health. And I didn't know that till I was much older. And I'm so happy for him. And I think they need it back too.
Mm-hmm.
So I hug him, but maybe it's a friend or just that one very deep hug. So yeah, I know they improve me. I mean, they're not going to solve the problem, but it kind of almost gives you a break from whatever it is you're dealing with mentally or emotionally. It does. So I highly encourage it. Yeah. What do you do as a means to help you go through that?
Yeah. Why is the echo? I think it's really good to do those things. My sister-in-law is one person who like she gives the best hugs. Like you can feel the mana when she gives you a hug. Like you can feel the comfort that exudes from that person. And even though I don't see her like a lot, whenever we do have a chance to be with each other, I always look forward to her hugs because it's just, aw. But I think all of these things that we're talking about are important because it's very important for us to rejuvenate and restore. Because when we're feeling junk and negative emotions and all of that stuff, it's because our body's trying to heal and restore itself. And I know just like you, I love a good nap. Found myself to, not so much this week, but usually like when I'm feeling run down, if I've been dealing with stress at work, there's just things going on in life that's like taking a lot of emotional energy or even mental energy. Sometimes not emotion, sometimes it's mental and just things that you have to go through. Then I gotta take my nap. Otherwise, like my body really does, I feel it. Like something's wrong. It is like it's shutting down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take a nap, whether it's for an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes I just sleep through the whole night, like whatever. I'll be like, babe, I'm not feeling good. Check on me, but I might be gone for the night. And I used to feel like, oh, like what's wrong with me? But I think it's just something that as you get older, your body's changing.
Yeah.
As much as we don't wanna face that part.
That part getting older, yes.
Yes. I mean, and I feel like it's also at battling with, I know I got to exercise too, right? So I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to carve out the time to exercise? Because that makes me feel good too. But if my body's telling me I got to take a nap, and sometimes it's a nap. Like you can't exercise if you're tired and your body is like on hammer jank. But yeah, so like usually those things and getting out in sunlight and like putting your feet into the dirt, like that's like recentering, grounding. It sounds like, I don't know, some hippie stuff, but it does.
Yeah.
It helps. It's so important. And of course, for us, like it comes very natural, but just sitting there and appreciating like the nature and the environment that's around you. One time I was sitting and I wasn't feeling good. And I was just like in the yard, kind of laying down and of course get ants crawling around. And I just I watched and he was building something and I'm like, look at this guy, bro. He's so small, but he's like taking all these steps to get all the little blades of grass, which is like big obstacles for them. But they just go, they do their thing, and no matter how long it takes, they're getting their stuff done. And it seems like something that's so small, but even that can help you give perspective on something that, like, oh, well, if that little that little thing can do that, then I can overcome the challenge that either I went through or that might be coming in the future. I just got to figure out like what it is that I need to charge myself up and position myself in the best way to move forward with purpose and I guess positivity to pull yourself out of that negative stuff.
Yeah. I was just going to share something about from being a single mom, right? Having to work. I worked multiple jobs. And because I had 4 daughters in the house, when they were in the house all at once, right? One graduated or left, or having all 4, and they were all in sports. They were a different age bracket, so they had different extracurricular activities. I had to work. I think I want to share this to whoever's struggling with time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like finding the time to do these things. There was no such thing as taking a nap. There wasn't. Literally wasn't, because there was no choice, right? And I wanted the best for my kids. I could take my kids out of extracurriculars or not have them do any sports or anything, but what kind of place why would I do that, right? I would want to have the best for them, even at the sacrifice of myself.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And I knew that. So that there might be families who maybe don't have the option of taking naps. And then I think on another note, a lot of people work a 9-to-5 job. There's no going home. You got to eat your lunch. You got to get in as much energy as you can. And so that could be an issue too. So I guess the next thing I would share would be, if you are that person that was like me, that didn't have the time because you had to balance multiple things at once, what I used to do was, my kids had a bedtime and it was 8:30, and even into their high school. Because 8:30 meant as soon as they were in bed, I could go to bed. And that helped me just get extra sleep in the night, because we were all up at the same time to get ready for school. But that would be something that you would need to do consistently. Finding time to go, getting out in the sunlight is, in Hawaii, it's a little easier. I think I have to say it might be a little bit easier, but hugging your kids every day before they go to school, or your partner every day before you go to work, it is a beautiful thing. And if you do have a partner out there and everybody's willing to make that space powerful and positive, having a conversation with your partner and saying, I really would appreciate a hug daily, or when you come home, and hug your partner just a little bit longer. And maybe that's something you folks can come up with as a routine to have, not just when you have negative emotions, but maybe something that you could do daily so that it could be maintained and managed. I'm sure everybody could find their own ways and different things that your whole home can work together on. I do believe it's not always easy for everybody and not quite feasible for everyone, but it's possible. We just have to be more creative. And I always say, it's like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get out of your negative emotional state? Because if you really want it bad, you make it work. There is no excuses. This morning, I couldn't move because I had to go take boxes of Moana stuff into the storage. And I couldn't even move. And I took my daughter, I said, 45 minutes. I just need 45 minutes to just lay down. And this is at the beginning of the day. Just, okay, you got 45 minutes, mom. And then it was five minutes. Okay, but you got 5 minutes left, mom. All right. I changed my clothes. We went outside and I didn't even think twice. I hit it. That was my exchange. You let me rest and I will give you 100% of myself. And we did. And we went outside. And ironically, the action and moving things and just staying focused and doing it helped me get out of that. Look at me now. Like, this wasn't me earlier. And that's the irony in that. Like, I understood there was an exchange. I needed to take this break because my body was going to be done. But I had to tell my body, I'm giving you 45 minutes. After this, I ain't got time for this shit. We got shit to do. And body, you're going to just do it. And that was my exchange to myself. And that's kind of how I talk to my body. Like, I'll give you this. And when you're powered with this, we're going to be doing this. So either you're taking that 45 minutes and using it to its best optimal time use, or you go fuck around. And then when you come to this side, you'll be tired. So those are the things that I get to talk to my body about, because I don't have a partner. to have those conversations with.
Mm.
Right now, until she goes to school, but I really don't have a partner. So my partner is me, and that's my body, and that's my brain, and that's my emotions. If you can be wallowing in your shit canoe for the next 10 minutes, but after you're done, go cook your dinner because you got to eat tonight. I don't care what excuse you have, just go do it. And for me, it works out. It may not work out for everybody, but for me, it works out because my other part of me, my other board member will come in and make me feel like shit if I don't follow my words. So rely on your board members. They're very helpful. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think that's really important because when I was in this mastermind, like when I was kind of like trying to figure out my creative stuff and what I wanted to do, and all of that takes a lot of energy too, on top of the 9 to 5 job and all of that. One of the things my coach would say is, okay, 5 minutes. If you're feeling junk, you're not feeling it, whatever, 5 minutes, you can feel your, like, and I don't know, be in your like Moana pity party. But after that, okay, we got to get to work. You give yourself just a little bit of time, but you cannot stay there. It's not productive. It's not helping you negative. It's just making it worse. You're like just emphasizing it. But then when you like get to the action part, okay, what can I do to help move it forward just a little bit? You don't have to do a lot, like little steps, focus on the little steps. And that is making sure that you have the progress. And that definitely makes you feel better. So I just say that for like people who think, oh, it's going to be like this big thing. No, sometimes it's just something small that you have to do to help knock it off, get out of it, and move into a better space with that. But yeah, I think it's very important because some people, well, a lot of people actually, I think about my coworker. She is someone who also doesn't have a lot of time. She has a 9 to 5 job. She works with me. She has 2 kids with all the extracurriculars. And then she's also a caregiver for her parents who can't really function on their own. So there are people who are like getting it from like all sides and taking a nap. They're like, are you serious? We're like, go from like when we leave the door till we come home, and sometimes it's 10 o'clock at night for her because she also coaches one of the teams of her son. And so sometimes like those people, like they really, and I see it on her when she's burnt out. And I'm like, okay, I know it feels impossible because you have all these things. But is there somebody that can help you get 5 minutes, 10 minutes just for you? And you go do like something, whatever it is that's going to help you restore fast charge to do something that you like. I don't know, breathe, something. Can you just get a breath without thinking about, like, oh my gosh, who is the next person that I got to take care of? Because like I'm constant malama mode. And it is hard for her. I mean, she knows what she needs to do, but sometimes she's just, yeah, but and I'm like, I know, but just remember, if you're constantly going, you got to take care of yourself too, because who won't take care of everybody else if you're not taking care of
So I was just like, because I'm that person, I was that person. It's hard. Hearing that doesn't help. So if you're that person who's witnessing a friend going through that, don't tell them what they should do. Just pick up a kuleana, drop off dinner, or bring lunch that day. Don't make lunch this morning. You don't need to worry. I'm bringing lunch to work for all of us. I think that's one of the things I will share. And I know this is not part of our Moana, but what you're sharing, because I know that we're high capacity, we're high functioning, and we're high energy. Not because we want to, it's because we need to. And not only because the addition to, yes, we want the best for our families. We want the best for our children. So yeah, we're going to push a little bit harder. But I think I've heard it all like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm like, of course, you should. Like, that was that word, that should. I am so tired of that word should. That somebody suggesting something that doesn't need anything. If you're not going to offer the mana to it, then don't offer the should. You should do something because you're not.
Yeah.
But if you are witnessing a family member going through that, I suggest taking a kuleana from them. And that's one thing too with my daughters now that they're adults and they're finding partners. I go, you want to find a partner who adds value to your space, not takes away it. So if you gotta go malama them, they're a waste of time because you got your own things to malama. Everybody gotta malama their own spaces. Yeah. But also know that if they're having a hard time, go help. The kupuna would say, not ask if they need help, just go help.
Just go help. Yeah.
And that's a very cultural thing. You see Auntie Waki with all the chairs coming. No, Auntie, can I help you? No, just grab the damn chair and take it from Auntie and go put it away because people will say no. Yeah. And culturally, that's how we are. So yeah, that would be my biggest suggestion. If you're witnessing it, don't tell somebody what they should do because nobody wants to hear that stuff. That's actually creates more negativity in their space.
Yeah,
But just go do something about it. Yeah.
definitely. No, that's great advice because you're right. When a person you should, it feels like scolding. Like when people say should and are you correcting me? Are you gonna do something to help or what? Or
I don't need to. You don't need to tell me anything. Like, yeah. And but the little things that we could do for others is
Yeah.
so amazing. And I think this is the year that we all should rely on action versus words. Like really rely on our own personal action versus words. And then also rely on the action of others versus their words. That can make a difference too.
definitely.
Yeah, that should be tomorrow's monologue.
For sure.
Some sort of action. Let's be the action.
Be the action you want to see in the world.
Yeah. Be the action. But yeah, mahalo again for this. I hope you all decide to get that sunlight and get a cuddle in there. Even if you have to hug your pillow tightly at night.
Yes.
Like I. Or that doggy. Yeah. Mahalo for joining. Thank you for letting us share some manao with you folks. Signing off from the island of Molokai Nui Hina, it's me, Tumailani Davis.
And signing off from the East Coast, it's Moana McAdams for the Moana Nui podcast. Guys, let us know if there are tips and strategies that you do to hemo or remove your negative stuff and get yourself in a positive direction. Drop them in the comments. Let us know because we need tips. Like we get these things, but if there's something else, I'm open. Like, let me try something else too. We want to hear from you guys. But yeah, so be sure to share this, like it if you know somebody who's kind of going through this and could use some extra just conversation and maybe sanity about it. Definitely share with them. We hope it was helpful. But until next time, mahalo nui for tuning in to our Manabam segment, and we will see you guys later. Ahui ho.
Ahuyo.